Hi everyone, today I'm here to talk about Jurassic Park, or I could just show off my shirt. Jurassic Park. Da, na, na, na. Jurassic Park is awesome. I freaking big love Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. I first read this book when I was a sophomore in high school, became totally obsessed, and since then I've read it like 10 times, and I'm not even joking. And every time I read it, I freaking love it. If you like dinosaurs, read Jurassic Park. Even if you don't, read Jurassic Park because it's good, it's awesome, and it's like, oh my gosh, dinosaurs are amazing, and also like, oh my gosh, dinosaurs would kill us. It's so good. I love it so much. It's really well written. I think it's easy to read. It's not like a bunch of jumble of words or like long descriptive sentences. Even when Michael Crichton is describing the dinosaurs, like it's pretty basic. Like anyone can understand it, but it's still really well written. And that's what I love about it. Just every time I read it, it's it takes me away to that place. Like I read it out by a little beach after I went swimming, and I was like just so engrossed in the book that, like when you come back from that and you look around, you're like, oh yes, reality. Anyway, back to the world of Jurassic Park. Like that's how awesome it is. And like I said, if you love dinosaurs, you'll definitely like Jurassic Park. If you've seen the movie, I do want to say it is very different than the movie. There are a lot of different parts, there are a lot of different scenes, there are a lot of different storylines, there are a few character changes in there as well. That being said, I also love Steven Spielberg's movie. It captured, I think, the essence of the book, which is kind of what is important to me in that regard. So, for example, it captures, once again, like the wonder of dinosaurs, when they see the first, like, Brachiosaurus, I think it's a Brachiosaurus, in the film, and it's like the music that I was. Yeah, that music, and it's just so wonderful and amazing, and it gets a little, leaf from the tree and smashes back down on the ground, and you're like, oh my gosh, dinosaurs are real, it's totally awesome. And then there's the terror of the dinosaurs when the raptors are in the kitchen and out everywhere, and yeah, so even though the movie is very different from the book, because it captured like the essence of the book, I still love it. Like I just think it's one of the best movies ever made, but I'm also obviously a big dinosaur freak. So, yes. That being said, there were a few funny things in the book that I noticed this time around that I have never noticed before. And these are just like plot devices. And if you know me, I'll always complain about them, but also be like, it's a book. Like when you read books or when you watch movies, you have to suspend your disbelief in some way, because it's not real life. But there's going to be a couple spoilers here. So if you haven't read the book or you haven't watched the movie, go do that first. I'm trying to think. Yeah, you'd still have to read the book for one of the spoilers. One of the ones in the movie, it wouldn't matter if you had just watched the movie. But anyway, so one of the things is Ian Malcolm, played by Jeff Goldblum in the movie, which I thought was a great choice. Kind of had a crush on him after watching the movie, to be honest. So, he gets really beat up by the T-Rex. It grabs him and tosses him away in the book, and he has a horribly fractured leg. There's bone poking out. He's not in a good place. And at one point in the book, they get the phone lines back up that have gone out, because Dennis Nedry cut all the power to steal things. And Gennaro, who's the lawyer, picks up the phone and he's about to call a doctor and a helicopter, but then suddenly he sees something on a screen and he just forgets about how he's supposed to call a doctor and to get a helicopter out there to airlift Malcolm out. Even though literally the paragraph before he was ranting about how it doesn't matter about the animals, this guy's about to die, and then he sees something on the screen, he's suddenly what's that? And then just forgets about the doctor call. But then later, a couple chapters later or something, Molden, I'm sorry, I'm throwing out so many names. Molden is the hunter and the animal expert in the movie. The guy who's we should kill all the raptors. If that helps, figure out who everyone is. If you've seen the movie but haven't read the book. he's like, oh, we called for a helicopter for you. Like, it's going to be fine. And then, like, just like hours, like a night passes, a day passes, like so much time passes, and the helicopter still isn't there, even though they said they called for it. So I'm confused about if they actually did or they thought they did, but then they really didn't because they got distracted by what was on the screen, which, like, honestly, WTF if that's the truth. Because once again, Gennaro was literally just ranting about how he's going to die and gets distracted by something on the screen. I don't know. So whether or not they actually called a helicopter or not earlier in the book, don't know, because then it comes on again and they like are like, yeah, we called for a helicopter, and I'm like, yeah, but you already called for one earlier. But then, like I said, it just takes, like, if you know someone's in an emergency, get the helicopter out there. Like, this is a big spoiler, so really, 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 if you haven't read the book or seen the movie and you don't want spoilers, don't listen to the next part. In the book, Ian Malcolm, quote, dies, and I'll explain dies because he comes back in the second book, but at the end of the first book, he's dead. And that was just, like, dumb because there was plenty of time for a helicopter to get out there. Like, they're only like 90 miles off the coast of Costa Rica. It doesn't take a helicopter a whole day to fly 90 miles. Like, what the heck was happening? So that part really bothered me about the whole helicopter and Malcolm, quote, dying, which, once again, he's back in the second book, and it's just explained away that, like, oh, there were reports of my death. Lots of people were happy, LOL, but I'm actually alive. So, whatever. And then, but there's a part in the book, so Malcolm's in this room, you know, he's all drugged up because he's going through lots of pain from his fractured, broken, splintered leg. Ellie Sattler is there, so she's basically the female in the movie who's not the girl Lex. And then there's Robert Molden in this room, and, like, Henry Wu, who's a scientist. They're all in this lodge. The raptors have escaped. The raptors are on the roof of the lodge, but there's, like, bars over the windows that the raptors are chewing through. And they're just staring up at them like, oh my gosh, get the power back on so that the bars are electrified. Like, oh my gosh, we're gonna die. Like, help, the raptors are coming in. I'm like, yeah, you can just move to a different room. And then the raptors would have to chew through those bars or, you know, open the door or something to get to you in that other room. Like, they were literally just sitting there in a lodge that has multiple rooms because it's the lodge where people will be staying at Jurassic Park when they come there. And they're just like, oh, what are we going to do? And I'm like, move. Move is what you're going to do. Like, yes, Ian Malcolm's in the bed. Pick him up and move him to the other room. Or move the bed. Like, if the bed's not cemented to the floor, move the bed with him. Like, what is going on here? It was absurd. But other than that, like, that was just something in the 10 times that I've read it before, or however many times, I've never noticed before, which is funny because I feel like it's just like, and that's the thing where I'm like, you have to suspend disbelief. You have to be like, why aren't they moving to another room? Like, WTF is happening? Like, why isn't anyone actually thinking? And I feel like you just have to do that when you watch books and movies. Like, it's a plot device. It's making it more suspenseful for people who read the book that the raptors are coming in and they're like, get the power back on, the power. Meanwhile, I'm like, you could just move, you know. But, so those are my main, like, I've never noticed those things before, but the book is awesome. John Hammond in it, total a-hole. Like, even, I feel like more than I remember. Like, he just does not give a crap about anyone. And it really, really upset me towards the end. He's thinking, like, oh, this park was a disaster, but, like, I can just make another one. And you know what? All the people that I hired who have either at this point died, been killed by dinosaurs, or are in danger, you know, because, like, or have been injured because they're there on the island when all the crap happened with the dinosaurs. He's like, oh, it was really a mistake to hire Henry. It was a real mistake to hire Dennis Nedry, which I guess that one was true. Well, it's more like Hammond's fault for not paying him enough. But anyway, you'll see when you read the book what I mean. And then he's like, Robert Molden wasn't the right choice either. Like, he's like blaming all these other people for his stupid park and, like, refuses to take any responsibility. I won't say what happens to John Hammond in the book, but, like, he is an a-hole and it's a very different ending for him than in the movie because in the movie there is a scene where he's kind of reminiscing about how cool this is, and Ellie Sattler's talking with him. She's like, this park is dangerous and people might die. And it, like, you know, changes him a little bit. In the book, no change. He's an a-hole rich man the whole way through. And yeah, that's like, that was one of the major character changes, I would say, from, like, the books to the movie. Whereas in the movie, like, when they leave Jurassic Park at the end and John Hammond kind of, like, turns around and looks back at, like, what he's spent so much of his life on, I was like, oh, poor John Hammond. Also, I love dinosaurs, so I totally get it. So I think if you haven't read Jurassic Park, you totally should. Even if like you're not into dinosaurs or you've only seen the movies, just because it is the book, obviously, that started that whole, now it's become this giant franchise, which don't even get me started about any movie past the first one. Movie-wise, Jurassic Park 1 is like the only good one. It has a good storyline, it has good characters. The other ones are just like ridiculous and dumb. I'm sorry, but like it's true. So anyway, but it is something that has like persisted throughout time, which is something that always fascinates me, is how like certain things we cling to and like we'll bring back. And not that I'm a fan, like I said, of the new movies or any of the movies after the first one, but you know, it is something that still stays like with us. And yeah, it's really great. And instead of having a question, I'm actually going to suggest a podcast to you. It's called Terrible Lizards. It's run by a comedian, Izzy. I'm literally blanking on her last name right now, so I'm really sorry. And Dave Hone, who's a paleontologist. And they literally just talk about dinosaurs, and it's so fascinating and it's so fun. And like the amount of knowledge that Dave Hone has like stuck in his brain about dinosaurs is crazy. I'm like, how does he remember all of this? He also has like a couple of really good lectures that I've watched on YouTube. They're for free, you know, just go look them up. It's probably Dave or David Hone. There's one about T-Rexes that I watched, and then one about, I believe it was Spinosaurs, or just like swimming, fish-eating dinosaurs in general, but I'm pretty sure it was focused on the Spinosaurs. So yeah, and like I said, go check out Terrible Lizards if you don't like dinosaurs, even if you don't, but you're kind of like want to maybe know a little bit more about them. Go check out Terrible Lizards. If you love dinosaurs, you'll love Terrible Lizards, the podcast. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. Jurassic Park is awesome. What is your favorite dinosaur? There, that's a question. What's your favorite dinosaur? I'm a classic. I love T-Rex. I would love to see a T-Rex. I just think they're so cool. If I could have a T-Rex as a pet, I would have a T-Rex as a pet and like ride it to, you know, work and stuff. So yeah, I'm going to go classic T-Rex. I think are awesome. So thank you so much for listening. What's your favorite dinosaur? Comment down below. Also check out Terrible Lizards, the podcast with Dave Hone and Izzy. I still don't remember her last name. I feel so bad. And Izzy, the comedian. So yes, thank you so much for listening, and y'all have a great day.